Okay.
Hi, everyone. This is Mary Kurek with Frontrunners Innovate, and I have with me today Dr. Christine Kozachuk. And Dr. Christine and I met probably about a month ago now, I think it's been at least. And I was moderating a panel for Youth Gather Global, which is an international youth development program. And she was a speaker. And so I got to know her then, and go figure, she lives in my state. So, which is unusual in an international format, like we were connected at that point in time. So Dr. Christine, I'm going to call you. What I love, because we've talked a couple of times, is that you have such an incredible backstory that I'd like to start there, because where we're going to end up is something that's very relevant to where you came from. So talk to us a little bit about what's brought you into the work that you're doing today. And by the way, everyone, she is a women's life literacy expert, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. But why she's here is for a program that's called Every Girl Wins. So before we get to that, let's find out who she really is. So Dr. Christine.
Thank you so much, Mary. A little bit about me, and I say, wow, it's been such a journey. When I was 13 years old, I became pregnant with my first son. I married his father at the age of 14. And at the age of 14, once I married him, I went on to have 2 more children with him by the time that I was 18 years old. Through that time, I was domestically and emotionally abused, not just by him, but it actually started with the community that I lived in when I became pregnant. They told me that I would be nobody, that I was worthless, and I'd end up, on the streets, basically. But the night that I had left my ex-husband, I was literally on death's doors. And when I left him with 3 children on my hips, no transportation, no money. And at that time, Mary, I had moved from the state that I was in to North Carolina. And so I had no family. I didn't know where I was going to go. And at that moment, I knew that my survival instincts kicked in, and I knew right then that I had to create an amazing life, not just for myself, but for the 3 children that witnessed it and was also in poverty with me. So that's what I did. I went back to school. I went back to school, got my GED, took some college courses. I took business management. I also have a doctorate in philosophy of humanity. That's where my doctorate comes in to play. I went on to not just create Every Girl Wins Institute, but I went on to create several businesses, and one that I still currently own with my husband for 25 years. So it's been a journey itself. And when people told me that I would be nobody, that I'm worthless, like that, I'm pretty sure I proved them wrong. What do you think, Mary?
I think so. So first of all, yay.
Thank you.
Second of all, where would the young girl in you come up with that kind of courage to be able to step out in an abusive situation with that many young children? Most people would have just stayed in it, I think, just because they could not see the forest for the trees or the light at the end of the tunnel. And somehow you did. And I think that's remarkable. So that speaks to somewhere in your upbringing, or somewhere in your, maybe your faith or your spiritual connectedness. So tell us a little bit about that.
At that moment, it was more of survival. And I knew, I kept saying when, I'd be hit or emotionally abused, I'm staying in this for my children, right? Mm-hmm. And because I came from a broken home, and I didn't want my children to grow up just with a single mom. And but it came to that point when, I was on death's doors, and I can remember, being there, and I think, I said, God, please take me. I can't do this anymore. And when I looked over, I saw my 3 children screaming, and God lifted me up off that couch and sent me out that door to never come back. And for me, I couldn't think of anything worse than staying there. Mm-hmm. So, it had to be better.
Yeah. So where you didn't have transportation, where did you end up to at least start your journey to recovering yourself and creating a life for Even though
Actually, my babysitter. I had a babysitter, and I went to the neighbors. I had called her because we didn't even have a phone. I had called her. She came and got me, and I stayed there for several months until I moved to Florida with my aunt. My aunt brought us in, and that's actually where I met my husband of 30 years.
oh, yeah. Fantastic.
And it's one thing I tell people: if you need help, use your voice. If you need help, let people know. If people, have helping hands, kind hands, just reach out to people and they will help you.
Well, I know one thing. I'm sure your children are so proud of you for all that you've done, not just for yourself, but of course, to help save them and create a life for them that they could be proud of themselves as well. I know the string from where you were to, Every Girl Wins is pretty evident at this point, but it's just more than an organization that helps girls. Tell us what you do with Every Girl Wins.
With Every Girl Wins, what we do teach is sustainable life literacy. We teach it starting with the mindset all the way to entrepreneurship. Girl Wins, and how I came about that exactly with my life. Because what I knew is not just the education part that I had to go back to school and become educated, but I also had to learn life literacy. And by putting those two together, I know that girls around the world, and even boys around the world, can succeed as I did.
So give us some parts and pieces to life literacy. What different little nuggets of wisdom can you share with us there?
What life literacy is what we teach is, for example, Plant a Garden Project. We have a Plant a Garden Project that we help females around the world learn how to plant a garden. Not only will they be able to feed their family, but they will also be able to sell that to be able to bring income with their family. We also teach, like sewing and just different things like that, that we teach them to be able to be sustainable in their life and also build their own economy in their life. Yeah, we did.
That's excellent. So were you able to make use of any of these things when you were coming along and trying to recuperate from?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. If it wasn't for me, doing classes, I would have no money. For example, to be able to get a job at one time, and I know you remember the old typewriters.
Yes. Yes, I do. The old Royals before I even selected
back in the 1990s. I actually had someone teach me how to type because I had no clue how to type, because you got to think, I never went to high school because I quit in the 7th grade. So that's something that was not taught to me. So I was taught that to be able to get a job at an answering service, I had to type 40 some words per minute. And I was taught that to be able to get a job at the answering service. And I did as a receptionist, and I moved myself up to management.
Wow. Not a doubt in my mind. If you can do all the other things that you've done, you can manage just about anything.
Yes.
Fantastic. Are you finding that women that you're working with, that you're, because a lot of us, might think, well, where are you finding women like that in the United States? We're like, so the wealthiest country, and we've got, all the benefits in this country that pretty much anybody could want, and all the resources. Are you finding that there are women here, as well as maybe other areas of the world, that really need that kind of education and eye-opening sorts of programs?
Especially in the rural areas here in the United States. We have the rural areas, we have the reservations that really need, the support of that. And like you said, the United States is very hard. They think we are a very rich country, but there is still, in these rural areas, and there's still teen pregnancies, there's still child marriages. Mine is.
Wow.
So still so many females in the United States in rural areas, and not just rural areas, even, in the cities, when you into the projects and things like that, is the same.
I wonder as you're talking about this, when we're facing such a refugee situation in the United States. So I think about refugees, and I think about girls who've been trafficked, and really never got that education and never got a way to figure themselves out, to what they could do sustainably to help themselves. Are you running into any of those sort of populations that you find need?
Here in the United States?
Yeah, and homelessness maybe also might be a contributing factor to some of the goals.
I have not yet, but that is something that I do need to reach out to help them and support them in that way. Human trafficking, I know, is huge here. You know,
Yeah.
It's really bad.
It is. Somebody was telling me the other day, and I've heard this 2 or 3 times actually. Atlanta, Georgia, is a hotbed for human trafficking, and I don't know why that is, other than that there's a large airport there, but and maybe there's a lot of fluidity that runs in and out. But I've heard that from several people, so
Yeah, I think it's
not a place you would think of.
No, absolutely. If you've ever been to Atlanta, Georgia, absolutely not. And I believe what it is, it's kind of like they say Ohio is the same way, is the interstates. You have multiple interstates that runs into that city.
Oh yeah, that would make sense. A lot of traffic flow in and out of there. So interesting about what you're doing with the girls as far as education wise, and the program or the nonprofit that you've started isn't that terribly old, correct? When did you start this?
Now Every Girl Wins is not a nonprofit.
Okay, for profit then. Okay.
Yeah, but we are in the process of starting a nonprofit
with it. Okay, that's right.
And right now, the nonprofit part, we just started it, but he's not fully been into the government to approve and everything, is sponsoring girls to go back to school. And actually yesterday, our very first Lydia from Kenya started back to school yesterday, and for our first sponsorship. So we are so ecstatic about that. I mean, it's just getting her, and her dream is to be a journalist.
Nice.
Yeah. And so she was a teen mom, and she dropped out of school because so Every Girl Wins not only sponsors her, we're also sponsoring her child until he's able to sponsor him. She's able to support him. And
she's able to support him. Oh, wow. That's fantastic. So you truly are global in how you view the work that you're doing. And we certainly know that there's countries out there that, there's girls that aren't, valued as far as the gender goes as opposed to boys. So they don't get the educational opportunities that maybe boys do. And so you're really helping. And the one thing that I do know is a lot of those countries were so hard hit with the COVID that just regrouping to a point of stability is a nightmare right now. So you're really providing some wonderful help for them.
Yes.
So
we came up with the Plant a Garden project. It actually came about when COVID, because there was more people dying from hunger than dying from COVID.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that happening. So from where you're looking at things now, the nonprofit is coming along that will go along with this, and that helps you get grants and raise more monies. So how are you situated for partners? Tell me what you're looking for that will help you grow Every Girl Wins.
Right now, we're still looking for international Every Girl Wins representatives. We are in 17 countries right now. We are working with former ambassador for Fidelia Galan from Suriname into the Caribbean. So we're working on getting international Every Girl Wins representatives into the Caribbean. We're also working with her right now. I will be training from the rural areas, as we talk about the rural areas that get hit the hardest, is training master trainers. So she's putting together a group of women for me to be able to train them, to be able to go back to their country, to be able to train the girls there in life literacy.
That's fantastic. Are there any particular countries right now that are top on your list that you'd be looking for representatives of?
Yes, China, Pakistan, India. Okay. Those 3 right now are at the top of and Australia. I would like Australia also.
So when you think about what types of representatives you're looking for, to kind of paint me a picture, what do they look like? Who are they?
The ones that I have now, the ones that paint the picture, is ones that has a heart for changing the lives of females around the world. Those that can come in and help teach these girls, that they can mentor these girls. Those are the type of women that we look for, that really has, because Every Girl Wins, it's only been 2 years. So I need very committed people. It is a volunteer. Right now it's volunteer for all these countries to assure that every girl wins in their country.
Are they usually heads of foundations or organizations at the local level?
I do have some, they range from, that to, just the everyday female that's, working a 9-to-5, job as a secretary.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But ideally they would be connected well to the youth, the young girls in the community.
Absolutely.
Right? Okay.
And not just the youth itself, because I would work with girls, I say girls because I say girls are girls from 3 to 100. So
Okay.
I've worked with women, from 40 to 50. So.
Right. Okay, cool.
Yes.
Wonderful. I think we might be able to help you with some of your representatives that you're looking for, and anybody that's watching this, for sure, now that you've painted a picture for me, they can get an opportunity to see, is that me or is that somebody I know that would fit in this?
And you're talking about the countries. If you can see the flag just a little bit back here. On the side, I actually have a flag that I created, and I'll send it to you, that has circles around it, and it's 195 countries. So I'm starting to X those off. And 195 countries that we want here globally. Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Well, you know what? Our magazine, as we called it now, it's more of a media platform because we're doing more things with it, is seen in 160 different countries. So we're getting close. Really a lot of countries I didn't even know, were out there. So This is amazing. You didn't mention Africa, but I know that since you mentioned Kenya earlier with the young lady, that are there any countries there that you're particularly interested in?
Yes, Malawi. Right now, Malawi. Right now in Africa, we're in South Africa, we're in Burundi. Not Burundi, excuse me, I'm going to back that up. Not Burundi, I'm working on Burundi also. Uganda and Kenya. We are in those in Africa right now. And Nigeria, and Uganda, Nigeria, Kenya, and South Africa. That's the ones we're in Africa. Okay. I'm getting so many of them so fast that sometimes I have to think about it.
I hear you. I hear you.
Malawi is on my list.
Yeah, fantastic. This is amazing. Other than representatives, what else might you be looking for to help you grow Every Girl Wins?
The representatives right now is, just really the support of mentorships, because international Every Girl Wins representatives, we have those, but we are also getting ready to start national Every Girl representatives. To where they can, national and community, because it'll be 3 different tiers in their country to where they can work together, because the international Every Girl Wins can't go directly into the communities other than their own. So we're looking for community and national representatives right now. That's what we're looking for. Okay. And more stages to tell about Every Girl Wins Institute, to support females around the world. Yes.
Okay. Lots going on for you. And I know that you welcome business and organizational partners. Do you have any right now you'd like to share with us, that you'd like to tell us about?
Right now, I do not have any business or organizations. I would love more businesses and organizations to come in and help and sponsor, some of these girls to bring them, to have them go back to school, because we all know without education, we're not going to get anywhere. They're not going to be able to succeed in life like they should be. So if we have businesses and organizations that can come and sponsor more of those girls, to see the smile on Lydia's face, like the one that went back to school yesterday, it's just amazing to me. And this is why I do what I do. I just love what I do, because, without meeting me, I don't believe she would ever see her dream come true of going back to school and becoming a journalist.
That's fantastic. Well, it takes everybody
Yes, it does.
to kind of step up at this point, and it
Yes.
certainly well fits in with the United Nations SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals. So we applaud you for.
And I may be looking for another administrative assistant to assist my assistant soon too.
And there we go. All right, yeah. So the structure is in place. This is your business part with a nonprofit coming, and the focus is on life literacy training and helping girls go back to school. Partnerships are welcome. You're looking for partners of all different kinds, whether that be endorsing, publicity. I would imagine, contributory partners that would help you send girls back to school wherever they may be. And I'm sure that you have a committee there that selects girls as they maybe apply for these scholarships, and maybe have criteria for them as well about what they're doing. So, and mentorships, you're looking for representatives for these different countries, and then potential mentors wherever they may be. And I can so see you collaborating maybe with other organizations that work with youth and girls that maybe don't do exactly what you do, but complement that what you do, and maybe what they do complement each other, and maybe hit each other's same audiences. And so could therefore combine maybe some of the training and things like that you're doing at least once in a while, maybe in a summit or a major event type of thing. I could see that happening.
Yeah, and I say more hands that are on board, the more females are going to succeed.
Right. Well, I know I've got, we're doing our Daughters Global project right now. It's a pilot, and I didn't even recruit these girls, but I've got 4 of them I'm working with right now with myself and my Nigerian partner, Dr. Osita Anamika. And I can see the difference it's already making, just giving support, helping them learn how to put together their own resume. And start it now. I mean, 14, 15 years old. So it's such, as you know, it's such a, I say it's a booger to have to put one together. So it's better you do it early and then just keep upgrading it and changing it as you move forward, instead of waiting till you have to get a job and then spending 3 days in misery trying to put it together. But working with somebody who knows how to do that now and then just moving it forward is a good thing. So they're all in different countries. And so I'm kind of helping them with that right now, but also introducing them to people they might not get a chance to meet otherwise. And that's my gift, is that connection, and being able to connect them inside their own country and then outside their own country, because I'm a believer in global citizenship. You don't get anywhere staying linear. You've got to, put yourself out there. So, yeah, neat. So I definitely think that there's certainly something we could do for you and help you with where you're going with this project. And we certainly applaud you for what you're doing. I hope everybody watching here will look at this with with the question in mind, what can I do to be of help and support? So Christine, thank you so much for coming on and sharing this bit of information. We're going to drop into the description for the YouTube that this will become the link to your website, and any of the socials that, social links that you have, we'll have that also in on the YouTube and also on our website, Front Runners Innovate. So thank you very much. We appreciate it. Look forward to seeing what all you're doing. You're setting the world on fire. So
thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.